The end is near. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
The best thing about Marvel, every single movie has set the chessboard up for this really tense standoff. Each character has an environment that they fit in, and it's nice to move some of those pieces around. And I feel really lucky that I got to be the one to go and infiltrate Wakanda.
Cap opens a door in T'Challa's heart. It opens a place where he can trust outsiders.
Should we bow? Yeah, he's a king. What are you doing?
We don't do that here.
We're seeing what Wakanda can bring to the Avengers.
They need support and help to deal with a very major global threat. And of course, Wakanda and Wakandans are the best to partner with.
You are in Wakanda now.
This is the place where we should rally and try to win.
This is a pretty amazing universe. It's just huge. There's the Guardians, there's Thor and his people, there's people from Wakanda. It's just everybody's just gathering together to defeat an enemy. It's pretty awesome. So good on Wakanda, good on us.
Dear, we don't fight for one life. We fight for all of them.
Being able to film after film tease at a larger story, really building these stories up into a giant conclusion, while at the same time introducing an entirely new direction for the future.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Happy Infinity War week. You may have heard about the new Phase 4 movies that Kevin Feige announced are in development, some in various different stages, so I'll do an updated Phase 4 movie timeline. But some of the new announcements were actually a pretty big deal. So if you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. Obviously, this week is all about Infinity War. I'll explain when my non-spoilery reviews and all those videos are going to be posting at the end of this video. So a lot of really cool, really important stuff happening this week. But the biggest new things are that they confirmed that there's an Eternals movie in development, there's a Nova movie that they're talking about, and a Moon Knight movie. So I always get lots of Moon Knight questions, but Nova has been one of the other biggest questions since the first Guardians movie came out. Why is it that we have the Nova Corps, but we do not have Nova himself? Not really a Phase 4 announcement, but Kevin Feige did say that they were not planning on doing a big Hall H panel during Comic-Con this year. Now that doesn't mean that they're not going to drop any footage for Captain Marvel or Avengers 4, it just means that they're not going to do a big Hall H presentation. Because even though I haven't seen the movie as of me posting this video this morning, it's implied that there's going to be a lot of destruction and the Avengers will be destroyed almost by the end of Infinity War. So it would be kind of weird for them to celebrate everything that just happened with a big Hall H panel. So they'll still have a presence at Comic-Con with all the normal stuff. There will still probably be some new footage. There just won't be like a big happy celebration with all the Avengers that are going to be in Avengers 4 on stage doing their big spiel. Because there's been a bunch of press junkets happening the past couple of days, he also did talk about integrating the X-Men characters in the MCU. The way he talked about it made it sound like he was intending on just surfacing those characters in the pre-existing Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's not like they're going to be a separate universe that only crosses over every once in a while. So when you see MCU Professor X, it will be within this shared universe where the people that survive Infinity War also exist, like Spider-Man for instance, because we know they're shooting Spider-Man 2 this summer. Didn't really provide a timeline for when that Eternals movie, when the Nova movie, or when Moon Knight might possibly come out, but this is like the updated Phase 4 timeline. Spider-Man 2 is the only Phase 4 film that's going to be released next year because Captain Marvel and Avengers 4 are the tail end of Phase 3, Spider-Man 2 is the beginning of Phase 4. That next year, 2020, is Guardians 3. It's the only movie tentatively on the schedule for that, but they did say that they're working on a Black Widow movie. They're definitely doing Black Panther 2, but Kevin Feige said that they're still trying to lock down Ryan Coogler, and they're not going to make Black Panther 2 without him, but they're definitely going to make Black Panther 2. So everybody cheer Ryan Coogler on as he tries to get as much money as possible from Marvel because they did not lock him down for more than one film. So that means he is going to get paid for that second Black Panther film. But now on top of that, we have Eternals, Moon Knight, and possibly Nova. So those other films, the recent ones he just announced, could be nebulous, it could be tail end Phase 4, it could be sooner. I think a lot of that just depends on them finding the right people, the right actors. If that comes together faster, they'll fast track the movies. Like Spider-Man and Black Panther 2 are their big priorities right now, and then whatever their next Avengers film is going to be, because there's going to be Avengers films till the end of time every 2 to 3 years. Some of those new films, like Eternals, for instance, might wind up being period pieces, because Thanos is a deviant, he comes from Titan, the Deviants are an offshoot race of the Eternals. It would make sense that if his race, the Titans, are extinct when Infinity War picks up, that you would tell some of that backstory with this Eternals movie. Like, this is where they came from. These are the things that eventually led to their downfall. So like you saw Captain America 1 take place during World War II, tell the origin story, then it jumped back to present day. They could also do that with some of the space-based movies too. It's just that we've only had Guardians so far, and even though James Gunn has teased that will be a lot of different-looking space-based movies, Eternals just sounds like it's the first one that they're fast-tracking. The Nova movie is a little more complicated because, no spoiler warning because I think it's implied in all the Infinity War trailers, Thanos takes the Power Stone from the Nova Corps. He probably blows most of Xandar up when he takes that. So what does that mean for the Nova Corps' future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? If you're not a big comic book reader, there's something called the Xandarian World Mind, which is this sentient computer that stores the consciousness of every deceased member of the Nova Corps. They haven't officially introduced that idea in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet, but they could use that if they want to move the timeline forward with the Nova movie and they want to do a Sam Alexander movie, a young version of Nova. So there are like 3 different versions that they've introduced in the comics. There's Richard Rider, the original version. There's Sam Alexander, the young version. And then as part of Sam Alexander's story, they say that his father was secretly a member of the Nova Corps. But most of his story is told through his son Sam as he's learning how to be a Nova. But it's sort of a Spider-Man Homecoming situation where you have a really young version of the character that doesn't know exactly how to wield the power and has to get all this help from older people. So that's kind of what's going on with the Captain Marvel movie, where you're telling her origin story, but there's already a pre-existing version of the character, Mar-Vell, who sort of passes the mantle on, which who knows, what James Gunn might want to do with that character if they're going to do that movie, because a lot of the Guardians movie feels like it plays towards a more family audience. So I do think it's a strong possibility that they do Sam Alexander. Also, he's been the most recent version of the character in the comics that people are familiar with. But Kevin Feige tends to be a traditionalist when they tell origin stories like that, so anything's up for grabs. Let me know in the comments, do you want them to do original Richard Rider Nova, straight up origin story for him, set in the past, or do you want them to do a Nova movie set in present day with Sam Alexander and sort of incorporate his comic book story? As far as Moon Knight goes, they could go any number of different directions. Obviously, that would be an Earth-based story. It might not be R-rated, though, and I think that that's a big holdup for people. Like, they were hoping that it would become one of the new Netflix series, but because Disney's developing their own new streaming service, a lot of people are wondering where all the new shows that they develop are going to go. Like, will Netflix get any new, different characters, or is it just going to be the ones that they have right now? So just a reminder, Adrian Martinez, you're the ticket giveaway winner from this past weekend, but there is a new round of that Infinity Gauntlet giveaway. I'll name the winner when I post my non-spoilery Infinity War review tomorrow night. I believe I'm allowed to post it around 10 p.m. or so I think it'll post right after my Flash episode video normally posts. So Tuesday night, non-spoilery Infinity War review. And then inside that video, I'll explain the rest of the schedule for the week. So if you haven't already, be sure to click that bell to enable alerts so you don't miss anything. But click here for more new Infinity War and click here for my Westworld Episode 1 video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.